Well, it's near the end of the day, so I thought I'd show you what I've been up to. My objective, you see these two boards here, and they stack, and then I was going to put my Mini 350 volt regulator right there, and I thought, boy, that takes a lot of space, and I don't even have the battery charger involved in this, and there's no room. Where am I going to put it? And so I did some thinking. Scary, isn't it? And I came up with a scheme where I took this rectifier and put it into a perf board, actually like this. And I put one on this end, one on that end, had a little space in the middle, and that's where I put the Mini 350 rectifier right in the middle. And then I thought, well, if I can stack those in there, then maybe I can put the regulator or the battery charger on top with some spacers, and then all I would have would be some real short wires, and it would all be wired in as a unit, and then plug it into the battery, and bada boom, yeah? So I went off and I built one, and there it is. So I've got this board, and it's cut so that it absolutely fits, and it fits over the motor controller exactly. And I've put in connectors and sockets so that it's now plugged in and wired to the track. Now in the real thing, we'll bring this wire up and plug it into that, because this is tied to the wheels. It's all-wheel pickup, so that will be coming in instead of what I've got today, but that's the only variance, and that gets rid of this jumper. I'm not going to drive around with that jumper hanging out, right? So then the challenge was I got to wire it in, and I did that. So I have a connector between the AC right and left, blue to blue, yellow to yellow, and then I have a blue and a yellow connector going in, blue and yellow, so that a alternating current is in here, and it's coming out. These are the outputs, positive and negative outputs. It's coming out in DC. Now moving the transformer up and down. That's the lowest. There's the highest. So we're getting about 15 volts coming out, and that's it. Now I'm going to shut it off. So you go to neutral, you go to 0, then you go to neutral, then you lift it again, and then now you're in reverse. And you can move it around and change the voltage. So this element has now been reduced. Let me get these clips off now that everything's turned off. It's a little safer to put my mitts in there. So this piece right here replaces these two boards, this white board, this white board right here and this white board right here, which is this. We call it the power distribution board. We had two of them because we needed two rectifiers. So I added two boards. Well, now I have one board. Andy, I'm going to beg him. I may have to mail him something special. He's busy. He's real busy. Anyway, and there's the Mini to do the volt conversion, and there it is right there in the middle. So I have all of that in a nice pack. It's not hanging out. The only wires are the incoming and the outgoing to the battery, and the outgoing to the devices like this buck boost board and this motor control board. So there's going to be 6 wires coming out of here, 4 wires coming in, and they're all going to be very tightly coupled and all that, I think. So I already have there it is. I already have a connector for the motor control board. So for him, I just take his 2 points and bring in a male connector just like that one, plug it in, boom, off of the new power distribution board. Not too shabby. We can do it. And I got a little pad out here on either side to put those on, or at least get the jumpers to get it on. And then I'll have a little pigtail hanging out, and that would be one for the board and one for the battery and one for the buck boost board. And that element of the power supply will be done. Then the battery will be plugging into the WeMOS. So he has his own, wherever the battery is, right there, he has his own connector. And, oh, I know, pardon me. He goes into this board, battery goes into this board plugs into the, so, okay, so when that board gets done, I'm going to have it sitting probably over here on top of this with some standoffs, so it's up in the air a little bit, but you can see it's below the optimal height, right? So it's going to be right there, and it's going to have a connector coming off of it. That's right, and it's going to plug into this guy. That's it. He's going to plug into that guy from here. So there, boom. Wires and connectors, no more loose wire, no more, oh. I have these jumper wires, which are great on the perf board, right, for connecting, building circuits. But two things you should never do, and I've learned this just in the last couple of days. Never use these jumper wires on a circuit soldered in. You don't solder these, or you shouldn't. I've learned this. This particular type, and I have a whole box of them, like that. You can't solder them. They don't solder. What I found when I was tearing the system apart from this weekend was these wires, I could just twist them a little bit and they'd pull right through the solder and leave a hole. They don't fuse to solder. I had at least 3 poor connections and one wire was pulled loose. So numerous errors in working too fast. Okay, fine. I was going to try to kludge this, and then I got nervous about the wiring. I thought, look, let's just think about this wiring. Now I have this board that bolts on. I cut off the other rail, so now I have everything in one, and so I can stack it up. So this will replace, or I'm going to modify this one to look like this one, whatever, and then it'll have the battery charger board built right on it. It'll be held off with standoffs and screws, and then a socket will come off of it, and it will be hardwired into the charger. That's it, and the battery, and that's it. Boom, done. That's it. I think it's going to be fine. Andy, I hope he can make this board, and if he can make this somehow arrange them so they can all be put together nicely, that would be awesome. I think he can do it. Might take him a while. I may have to build a few of these, but that's okay. I know how, and I have the bare perf board material to do it, so I'm in good shape. Well, look at that. It's 5:25. And the elections are almost over. Maybe by Christmas we'll know, but it was not the bloodbath I had feared. It was not great, but it wasn't a complete gut disaster. Okay, thank God. Any rate, you guys take care. I'll post this. I'm hoping tomorrow is Thursday and Friday. I'm hoping to get this together because Leon, my friend, there's his engine taking a nap. Sit up, young man. He has sent the real engine parts. His chassis and his engine shell and tender. And he's building, can you guess? Royal blue. So now, everything I've done to mine, I get to do to this one. Assemble the engine. Then his tender, you know, it's hard to communicate sometimes. I'm a little nervous. I don't know if I should show you. Why not? He's very creative. Look at his chassis. Is that awesome? Wow. I mean, that looks very nice. And his tender has been sanded down and modified. And this is his simulated coal and where the water's going to go. He's saying that's the available space. It looks huge. It looks like it'll be just fine. That's the same exact space I'm designing to, so that should not be a problem. He wants to use his chassis, and that will cause everything to get a little tight, but maybe not. We'll see. And then his engine is in here, which he has made. It's the plastic 356 Silver Bullet, which he has customized and sanded down and added parts to. And I mean, he's really made it sharp. Opened some windows, and boy, I think it's going to be nice. Look at that whistle. Yeah, you got scale brass. There's another one. Little pop-off valve. Anyway, now the heat's on. You might say I've got real parts to deal with here, and he sent me a dead president along with it, so he's serial. You know what I mean? He's not messing around. So this will be a treat. There it is. There's your buddy. You see that? So we got to fit that motor in, and that gear, and that smoke, and get this ready. And I think it needs a little shot of lube. It felt like it was a little clunky, but I don't want to say anything out loud, okay? But it's going to be one hell of a royal blue, isn't it? My God, that is gorgeous. Leon is a modeler, as you can see. He puts scale parts on and everything else. I struggle with that. I did model cars as a kid, and mine weren't great. I mean, I got like second or third place at the fair one time. That was about it. But his modeling, I mean, look at this, you know? He's really going all out. I love this. This is pretty awesome. And he's added some weights inside to give it some more heft. I just not sure all of those weights are going to survive all the technology that we're thinking about. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even going to look at it and try anything yet. I'm going to wait. And I got to do some weight reduction over here. I know that. But we did widen this tad, so. And I don't really have much more than this, so it won't get too fat. It's going to be a fun treat. Oh, and look, he has no hole there, so he's got this is exact same chassis. So it'll be fun. That'll be fun. All right, well, that's the show. That's all I could get done today was this board. But it's a step, you know, it shows you can shrink these things down, and if you think about them and try a few things, you can come up with ways of. There's the crier. Thank you. I have to go upstairs and make peace or whatever. I complain. I don't complain. She's the love of my life. Treats me like a king. Lets me come down here and play with trains. What do you know? All right. You guys take care of yourself. Keep an eye. Make sure you subscribe. Check it out. Go back. See some of the work we've been doing. But this is going to be a bit of a transformation. Buckboard will still go there. All the other boards will hide underneath. But I think this is going to make everything a lot smoother and safer on the assembly. All right, later.